Title 21 of Code of Federal Regulation as communicable disease agents and must be avoided. The VHPs also has another big advantage that after the process is catalyzed in water, vapor, and oxygen, and so leaves no residues. This is very important because exists also another kind of contamination we want to avoid is the chemical one. So again, the cycle of decontamination of the airlock and the cabinet has been properly validated, means that we reach inactivation of 10 to 6 biological indicator population with the cycle. Second critical issue is avoiding the mix-up. What does it mean? It's so critical, the operation we have to do on the sample, that we should avoid that stem cells coming from one sample could go in contact with another one. So we designed the isolator in order to allow only few operations to the operator. The operator cannot enter other material during one sample manipulation because there are alarms and interlocks preventing this. We can do only one sample per cycle. We've designed airlock for this reason. Then is used only disposable material. So it's not possible to use one material for the first sample and the same for the second one. After the sample manipulation, the isolator is completely voided. The clearance procedure is very strict. At the end is closed, and another decontamination cycle is performed before entering the new material and processing. So another critical point is not only FDA requires, but is also a good practice. Each sample manipulation is that critical that we want to follow and record all the parameters during these operations. We want to record the length of the isolator. We want to record the integrity of the filters that prevent microbial contamination and purity and maintain the purity of the air, the temperature at which the operations are performed, all the alarms during the operations, the results of biodecontamination cycles, and those are very important, the last two. We have the counting during operation of the non-viable particulates in order to avoid that during exposure non-viable particulate can drop into the liquid. And the last one, every moment of the operation are followed by continuous sampling of the viable airborne into the cabinet in order to verify that during those operations the sterility is assured and no viable airborne can be counted after incubation of the plates. So in order to avoid mix-up and contamination, one important and key issue we have seen during our development of the isolator is the ergonomic process flow. That means we have developed a lot of simulation in order to see which was the best position of the operator and all the features of the isolator in order to reduce the possibility and risk of mismanipulation that can impact on the integrity of the cells. So we have done a lot of studies. We have decided the seated position was the best, that the isolator should be 2 gloves, no more, the smallest as possible. And at the end, we did also mock-up before manufacturing the real one. And at the end of this process, we did the manufacturing of the isolator and we installed the isolator. This is one, the isolator stainless steel box with the 2 chambers, the PLC that drives the operation, and all the recording systems able to recover and record all the data and the parameters during each operation in order to consolidate all of those data in a batch record, each batch record for each stem cell. So up to date, in the biocell centers, we do have 3 Celli isolator. The one you see on the left is one in Medford that yesterday was inaugurated. and the other in Europe, in Switzerland, in Lugano, and in Milan, close to Milan, in Augusto, in Italy. So we hope that next future will grow the number of those throughout the world, and I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
What other industries are you going into? Are you going into the human IVF industry?
Sorry, I don't understand.
What other industries are you utilizing this equipment? I mean, assume that
Yeah, well,
besides the ones you mentioned, are you going into the human IVF industry?
I did up to date. I didn't see any reference of this technology applied, but wherever.
They have much simpler isolate units,
Yeah, it's a glove axis.
but it seems that this would be more effective in documenting and ensuring quality and less contamination problems.
Exactly. What I was saying is that wherever the need is to control contamination into an isolator or prevent contamination from the environment into the isolator, the choice of the best choice is the isolator, because you can really control at the highest level all the parameters affecting the sterility assurance or the contamination spread. Those are more or less the major indications. So this is the reason why in hospitals, nuclear.
Yes.
Just a quick question. What concentrations of hydrogen peroxide are you using?
Hydrogen peroxide is done at the concentration of the liquid is 35% volume.
And that's
We use few grams
okay.
per cycle.
Okay.
That's the question, yeah. Few grams per cycle.
Okay. Thank you. What was it? Sorry.
One more question. If you're in the middle of working in the isolator and you lose power, so is there any way that you have like a backup in case that?
Exactly. When you have, for example, there is a lot of, one of those is the possibility to a lack of power, electric power. What does the isolator? The isolator closes all entrances he has, all valves, all potential inlets in order to maintain the condition reached. So it also suggested to have a backup for short, I would say, electrical cuts. But normally isolator is able to maintain the condition. Not so for not so for a long time, but it's closed. So the program says no electricity, we close all.
Okay.
Thank you very much.